Let's go. Getting ready, about to go live. You know we always have a good time, so count it down, make some noise. Chat is open. If you're here, let us know. Start the cheering. Let's have fun and start connecting. You worry soon you'll be forgetting, 'cause you are here with us now. We are all friends. Sit back and relax, we can begin. Ready or not, here we go. We're all here, so let's start the show. Let's support each other. We can do everything all together. Ready or not, here we go. We're all here, so let's start the show. This is the place to be, right here with you and me. Let's meet somebody new. Come and be inspired. The only thing required is to learn and have fun too. Experiment with us, in you we can trust. To live that streaming life, there's no need
Is it already Thursday again? It is. Welcome everyone. We have Cheryl here. Hello, so nice to see you. And Marianne turning in from Sydney, Australia. So very early for you and getting time to wind down for me. And Janet is here. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here and you will be asked to participate. And yeah, I just noticed Lala is missing. So hi Lala in the replay. I know you will text me and say I should have reminded you, but I'm always happy if you get some sleep in the night. Okay, but now let's try to get this show started. Are you playing small? Are you playing small? Do you hold yourself back? Do you occupy yourself with the little things and avoid the hard task? Let's talk. My guest today is Suzan Czajkowski. She is an award-winning digital marketing consultant and communication coach. She's so many. She specializes in helping introverted businesses owners thrive in an extroverted I can talk today. In an extroverted marketing world. Suzan put out a video saying, I am done playing small. And I said, let's talk about that. And she said, yes. And so she's here. Hi, Suzan.
Hi, Marcus.
I think you need to teach me to speak properly.
You just need to slow down. There's no rush.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
There's no rush.
Very good lesson there. Yeah, but in the intro we need. Yeah, sorry.
I just want to say, watching that opening video, I feel like I'm just watching a whole parade of friends walk by. That's so much fun to watch that video. So, yeah.
And there are still a few I need to put in there. So I caught up a little bit last week, but I still have more to put in. But you are already in, so today we'll not put one more in that.
No, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I'm in there. Back when I was in my other office, I was like, oh, I remember that. That was so much fun. So much fun.
So yeah, Suzan, so nice for you to come here and talk with me, because I saw that video of you when you said, I am done playing small, and I was so inspired, and I thought, oh, and you even said in that video, it should be a conversation, and I thought, yeah, that absolutely should be a conversation, and we can do that live. And so in the first part, I ask a little bit about what it means to you. Stop playing small, and then we figured we turn it around and you ask me and people in the chat some questions.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's do that. I mean, let's start with what it means to play small. And the reason this needs to be a conversation is because I can sit here and give it a definition, but it's going to mean something different to every single one of us. You're going to show up playing small in a unique way to you. And so the question is certainly, what does it mean to play small? But I want to ask, and I'm asking you, Marcus, and I'm asking everyone in the audience to tell me, tell us in the chat, what does it mean to you to play small? Because playing small is not showing up in your best way. It's not showing up courageously. The thing to understand about playing small is the opposite is not playing big. The opposite is playing with intention. It's being courageous. It's being powerful and strong and willing to do the thing that scares you, but also is what you want. Really, it's about knowing what you want and going for it and getting around that fear, not letting that fear hold you back.
Yeah.
Right? In the video, I talk about I hide under a rock, and the very specific example there is I've got these big goals and I've got this program that I run that I'm looking to get people in. And instead I was running these tiny little programs that were related, sort of, but they weren't getting people into this program where I can make the biggest impact with them. Absolutely. And so instead I'm like making these little moves, and that's playing small. And so now I'm getting people into my program where I can actually make an impact and help them make a difference in their lives.
Great. And People can go to your website for that. Susan.
Uh,
CC.
yeah, actually, the program to look at, if you go to Susan C, we should have talked about this. We never did.
Oh, yeah.
SusanCZ.com/3 secrets.
Three
sounds right.
secrets.
3
Okay.
secrets.
Yeah,
That's where you can go. I'm running a program on the 8th. I'm going to check that. I'm going to let you
Okay,
talk.
yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
then
check
we
and make
can
sure
put
was right.
that in the description later.
Yeah, 3 secrets. There it
Absolutely.
is.
Okay. Not one secret, not 2 secrets, 3 secrets.
3.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, anyway, so Marcus, what does playing small, based on the description, what does playing small mean to you? How does it show up for you?
We're already turning to me right now.
I am already turning to you. I'm
Okay.
we're just going to go straight there.
Yeah.
And people and everybody watching, Cheryl and Janet, tell us in the comments what this means to you.
Absolutely.
How it,
but
so there are two questions I'm asking, and I'm going to stop that. I'm going to ask, the first question is, what does playing small mean to you? So Marcus, what does it mean to you?
Okay, I answer that quickly, and the chat can too. And then I want to go a bit more on your side before we go deeper on my
I can do that.
Okay, yeah. To me, is staying safe and doing what I already know, and just maybe letting life happen to me would be playing small to me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that, letting life happen to you instead of choosing to be in charge. That's a great way of explaining it.
Okay, and Marianne is saying for her, playing small is not getting out of her comfort zone. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. So keep that going. And Roy is saying there's a big difference between starting small and starting slow. Starting slow. Yeah, slow. Absolutely. You can say we...
Yeah, you can start slow, but still be not playing small, right? If you've got an intention and you're willing to be courageous, right? Yeah, but sometimes you want to start. If you've never done something, there's nothing wrong with starting small, but that's different than playing small. So starting small is taking a small step. There's nothing wrong with that necessarily, especially if you're going into a realm you've never done. You're stepping, Marianne starts to step out of her comfort zone. Starting small is a great idea if she's like really uncomfortable with it and she's never done this thing that she's doing. But playing small is never leaving that comfort zone.
Yeah, not taking the risk. Yeah, like Cheryl is saying, avoiding risk, undervalue, absolutely. Lack of confidence. Yeah.
Yep. I want to actually talk about, there's avoiding risk and then there's staying in your comfort zone. I don't believe you have to get completely out of your comfort zone in order to make a difference or in order to show up and start playing intentionally. I just also don't think you have to jump into the deep end or jump completely out of your comfort zone. You can stick a leg out.
Yeah.
And stick it back in, and play a game of stick it out. Stick it back in.
Next
try it a couple
time
times,
you put 2 legs out maybe. And
yeah. What's it, the hokey pokey, play the hokey pokey with it. You don't have to, but as long as you're going in a direction that is in the direction of your goal with intention and not hiding from that, not, being willing to take the risk on yourself. You're taking a risk on yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So. And Fish Stick is saying no risk, not leaving comfort. Absolutely. Yeah. So and I promised you get to ask the hard questions to me, but first, let me know what does it mean to you personally, playing small?
Yeah. So, and I was starting to talk about this. So playing small for me is like when I have this big goal with my program and instead I'm doing these little things. I'm like, I'm running a very small workshop where on the back end, I kind of casually mention my program instead of saying, hey, look, I've got a program. If you've got this problem, I can help you with that. Right. And being more overt, hiding from that. Other things for playing small are like avoiding it altogether and finding myself just working on things that aren't even related to my big goal.
Yeah.
Right.
Or isn't that nice to do? We can say, okay, I have all those things. I'm so busy and
I'm so busy not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm going and I'm going,
But
and I'm not going anywhere. And
but
so
it,
when I
it
talk
can
about
feel
hiding under,
nice to do that, and that's why we
and
sometimes
I'm
do
not
it.
saying you shouldn't do it
Yeah.
sometimes, but
Yeah.
if you're doing it all the time and you're not making
Yeah.
progress towards that goal, and it's not that we can't do those little things, but what happens is I'm like working on my big program, right? So I've got, let me get specific. I've got a group coaching program, and that's what I should be working on. But I get attracted by the shiny thing because I have a specialty in email marketing. And so I'm like, oh, I want to do this with email marketing and that with email marketing. And in my head, I'm telling myself, and I'll do that and I'll invite those people into the group coaching program. And so I take months trying to work on this thing.
Yeah.
And then by the time I'm done with it, I'm like, I casually mention the group coaching program. Like I'm scared of my own program. I mean, it's just stupid. What I call this whole idea of me doing other things hiding under a rock. That's the words I use, hiding under a
Yeah.
rock, because what'll happen is I'll get distracted by something shiny. I'll play with it for a while, and then 3 or 4 months later, I'm like, wait, what am I even doing? And so I've just lost a chunk of time that I could be using on working on my big program. And when I say work on my big program, I don't mean just selling it. I mean recording or doing YouTube videos about the big program, or
just
it's
moving
not
it forwards, and
if I'm taking this detour doing this other thing, I'm just making the road to my goal longer.
Okay. Yeah.
By this distraction, if I remove that, I could actually shorten my own goal by focusing on where I'm going.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I'm talking about. And that's what I just was like, I'm done taking these detours. I am done hiding under a rock. I am done showing up 3 months later wondering where the heck I've been and why I haven't built my program.
That's so
I'm like,
powerful. I'm done. Yeah, I hear you. And
yeah,
we
I'm
have,
like, the only thing in my way, the only thing stopping me is me.
yeah.
What the fuck is that about?
Absolutely. And we have to
So-
recognize someone in the chat not playing small at all. Roy.
Congratulations.
What is the
That's
wow?
a big deal. That's a big
Today
deal.
he became a business today, and
Day one. It's day one.
wouldn't be Roy if he wouldn't have this kind of humor. I don't have skills yet, but I have plans. That's the Roy I know.
I like it. Congratulations.
And choosing LOL, washing or stuck in learning instead of working out what will move me forward. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then Fish Stick has a question. Is it why? No, not a question. It is
That's a
wise to
comment,
develop
yeah.
a project. Oh, C for comment. Okay, I'm learning.
Yeah.
It is wise to develop a project in manageable steps, but you should not require every step to be perfect. Absolutely, from unrealistic idea
Yeah.
before moving. Yeah, because that will hold you back for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. What's really interesting about where I found myself when I just had this big epiphany one day where I was like, what the heck am I doing? I'm the only thing getting in my way. I need to stop this. And what's interesting about it is it's the same thing a lot of my clients experience. And it's really been fun to see how much this resonates because we all experience it.
Yeah.
And, per that last comment, some of the ways we get stuck is because we are procrastinating or we're worried about it being perfect when it needs to just get out there. It doesn't need to be perfect. That's not the goal. The goal is to get it out there. But, and so we're avoiding stuff. Like Cheryl talked about washing. The first word on her thing was washing. I will be like cleaning the kitchen. And I don't mean, putting the dishes away. I mean, scrubbing the stove or scrubbing the sink, just crazy stuff when I should be working.
Okay, maybe next time when
avoiding.
you really, really clean the kitchen, you can also think the strategic steps you have to think about, and then.
Well, when last time it happened, actually a couple weeks ago, I realized you just find yourself cleaning that, and I'm like, okay, all right, finish what you're doing really quick here, or finish halfway, or just put the sponge down and go to work. But the question on the table was, what are you avoiding? That's what I had to ask myself. Okay, what am I avoiding? What is scaring me?
Yeah.
And what am I scared of? And I've got to walk myself through the process of understanding that fear is natural, but I shouldn't let it stop me.
Yeah.
And
Is fear? I think fear is possibly the biggest cause of us playing small. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not just fear. It's what we let fear do. It's how we
Yeah.
choose to respond to fear.
Yeah. And it can be even not just fear of failure, it can even be fear of success.
It can be.
What will be if that all happens, and what will I do then?
Yeah. I think I'm working this hard now. What if they actually buy from me? Now what am I going to, that kind of, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So fear of fear of failure, fear of success, fear of making a mistake, fear of making a mistake and imperfection, things like that are all wrapped up in shame, embarrassment, shame, right? Yeah. So what happens is we feel the emotion that we might get at the end if this goes poorly. And so we stop so that we don't get to that emotion, even though that the chance of that emotion is so low.
Okay, and then Janet is saying washing is working. Okay,
but is it to your goal? But no, exactly. It's not that it's not work. The question is it in alignment with your goal? If it's a work day, I mean, if it's the weekend or at night and I'm scrubbing my sink, fine. But if it's 10 o'clock in the morning and I should be sitting at my desk working on the thing, for me, that would be a work hour. So whatever you decide is a work hour. It's working, but it's not moving you towards your goal. Same thing with that email program. Yeah.
Yeah. And that, I would say it's what you have to ask yourself is, do I go washing when I should make the difficult call I was planning to do, and then I go wash? Then no, washing is not work. But if you wash because it needs to be clean, of course.
Well, of course. I'm not saying it doesn't need to be cleaned. Sure. I'm saying from a business perspective.
And if you go and clean even better and even more thoroughly, just to not do the other thing, then Okay. Yeah. And fish stick, personal comment. Okay. I'm an avid reader, but I remember being told in high school that I should not read about life and start truly living it. Yeah.
Okay, first of all,
it's not the black-white thing. It's
we don't have the concept behind why they said it.
Yeah.
But as somebody with an introverted side, I know a lot of introverts, and reading can be a great way for a person to escape. Reading can be a great way for a person to, the word recover comes to mind, but re-energize themselves. It depends on who you are, right? At the same time, and I love this comment, Fishstick, because I've noticed at times if I really get stuck in books where all I can think about is I want to go read, again, I'm chasing something. I'm running away from something. We have to ask when we're doing things that are not, whenever you're feeling afraid or whenever you're doing something, and this is hard to do, you do it by habit. What I'm trying to say here is when you're afraid, if you're playing small, that means you've got this other thing that you do to avoid being afraid or to avoid the thing that's scaring you. You don't even know you're doing it because it's a habit. And so stopping it isn't going to be, oh no, I'm just going to go do this instead. We have to be aware of it and change the habit, change our response to fear.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I would say to that reading thing is, reading, perfect, it's a good thing to do, but if you're just reading about things you already know and don't take the next step and just go and do more research, then you probably, I would agree, go and do the thing. But if you want to get inspired or truly getting knowledge, then of course reading is a good thing to do with your time. So it's always
reading is fundamental. We can't ding it.
Yeah, I'm reading chat. So not books, but the chat. And so Marianne is saying fear of making a mistake in front of an audience. That's the beauty of live streaming, because you just get used to it.
You're guaranteed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I have so many more questions for you, but we have
Bring
time so that you can ask the questions yourself later. So
no, I don't need to. Yeah, it's your show,
right?
We
will do that. No, we will get to that. But and the chat is also. Maybe we should make a 3-hour show. No, it will only be 1 hour. But I was reading the description of the video you put out about Stop Playing Small, and you were saying you were very afraid to do that video, and you were taking a long time to make it, and then you delayed it a bit more with editing just because you were afraid
Yeah.
and because it was hard. So congratulations to being vulnerable and doing it. And yeah, it's kind of poetic. You said you are done playing small, and that making that video was one step in that direction then.
Yeah, it was very meta. It was very meta.
Yeah.
Putting it out there was, in fact, choosing not to play small. And so, yeah, it took, I recorded it, then I recorded it again. And then I did move to college with it. Nice. That's nice. I like that fish stick. That's great. I'm glad that made sense. You came out of your shell. See,
Yeah.
that's awesome. When
Susan
I recorded
is
it.
amazing in making sense. So I remember when you did very regular live streams, and you always said, "Did that make sense?" And I always thought, "Yes, of course."
Of course, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say so you're right. It took a long time to record this. I recorded it. The one that you see on there is the one I recorded. I was editing it, and I just kept getting freaked out about it. So I went and recorded it again. Didn't end up using it, and I probably did it 3 to 4 weeks before I hit publish. And one of the last things I did, because I just was sitting there in YouTube and I just couldn't get myself to schedule it. And so I finally had a friend watch it. I just got online with a friend, Mark in the UK, and just had him watch it also. I was like, just sit here and watch this with me and tell me, do I publish this or not? Is it? And part of it isn't, some of it's the content, and some of it is like, as you watch the video, my hair gets frizzier and frizzier because it's humid outside, and I decided to do it outside. And it just, everything, just watching it, I just was like, oh my God. But it was also one of the best things I could have done, because in addition to me declaring it, people like you are responding to it and realizing, look, so it's become its own little movement. And for me, it's just really become a mantra.
Yeah.
Of no, I'm done. I'm just, it's not I'm done playing small. It's like, I am your favorite cuss word, done. And
Okay. you make cuss here, no problem.
Well, I'm just saying, you can personalize it. For me, I'm just fucking done. Just done.
Very good. Yeah, but I felt that a little early when you said, okay, and I'm done with that. And did that work for you? So you put it out and said, I'm done. And did you since then have measurable results?
It made a difference. It's an interesting question, because the thing is playing small is a habit.
Yeah.
And so it's not, okay, I'm done and it never happens again. It's a daily reminder. Okay. If I find myself stopping, I'm like, okay, what's playing small look like? What does the opposite of playing small look like right here?
Yeah.
And then I go, right? So it's very, in the moment kind of stuff. I know, for example, when I get stressed out at my desk here, I'll very suddenly, I'm working on something, and I get all those fears start running around. So I will pop up and go and do something. And this is where I end up in the kitchen cleaning, or off in the back room petting my rabbit or something. I've got a rabbit in the other side of the house, and I'll go hang out with her for a while. But those are moments when I'm like, okay, what am I doing? Come back, calmly sit down and do it. And so calling yourself back to it.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff. It's a constant reminder. No, that's not okay anymore.
Yeah, great. Yeah, and it's probably maybe it's like with exercising. So you shouldn't exercise 7 days a week the whole day. So you also need that go back and relax, and then really lean into your goals.
Yeah, I can see that. Where sometimes you've just got to be like, no, that's it.
Yeah.
It's got to be okay. But I'm kind of drawing a line. I'm not just. But you could pick your battles. You could absolutely pick your battles and be like, you know what, I'm doing this in so many places. There's this one thing, and that totally fits the exercise standpoint. You know what, I could lift, I could run, I could get on my bike, I could do yoga, I could stretch. Let's pick two. Right.
Yeah.
So it's this, it could be the same thing. Pick your battles. Absolutely.
Yeah. Then I have a question from Cheryl. Do you think the speed that we pivot after we fail is important to help overcome some of the fear? Interesting.
I think it's more important that you pivot.
Okay. Yeah.
I care less about how long it takes. I care that you pivot.
Yeah.
That's a great question, Cheryl. Yeah. I mean, they talk about when you get knocked down, stand back up. It doesn't matter how fast you stand back up. It matters that you stand back up.
Yeah. Because maybe if you try to stand up too quickly and then you fall down again. So
Yeah,
make
absolutely.
sure
And
you have a firm ground to stand up to. Yeah. Makes sense.
yeah, and so it's okay if you sit there and get your wind back first.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It doesn't matter if it took you a minute, a day, or 2 weeks. It matters that you stood up again.
Yeah. Okay. So now, as promised, now you may grill me with where I play small, and you may ask the chat and challenge the chat and me.
So I want to know from you, Marcus,
Yeah.
when you saw that video
Yeah.
and it resonated for you, what came to mind for you?
Yeah, I think it's really, it touches something. I mean, I didn't really think about playing small before, but I'm very conscious that I have perfectionism and especially procrastination, and they are brothers. So, and yeah, like I said before, I feel like sometimes I let life happen to me. I get very comfortable. I'm very routine oriented. I also have ADHD, and maybe that routine helps them there too. But I also have another side where I really embrace challenges and I love change. So a fascinating thing I recognized is I don't initiate change, but if change comes, I say, yeah, change, and run to it. And so, yeah. Does that make
Okay.
sense to you?
It absolutely does. I mean, we all
Okay.
have very different sides of ourselves, and sometimes those sides are ironically opposite. You'd think that, that they play together well, even though they're at odds. I also wanted to know, and I'd love to hear this. This is a question that, the people watching can answer as well. What do you want to stop playing small around? What's the thing that you want to do that you've been playing small about that you want to stop playing small? What is the thing you want to do different?
Yeah, and tell us that in the chat as well. Where do you want to stop playing small? Yeah. Yeah, I was also thinking about where do I play small or not so much, and I think it also comes down to seeing opportunities and taking them, and I also wrote down for myself the yes and thing that comes from improv, where you don't say no, I don't like that. You say yes and then you develop it further. And a specific example would be my coming up first trip to the US, where I will see Suzan, by the way, so great. And that is the eCam camp, and I had to think, okay, should I go there? So it's a 3-day program where they teach you things about eCam and creating, and then there were these different sides. So I think, okay, I don't need somebody to really show me eCam. I can handle all that, but I'm sure they will also show us things related to it that can help. And then especially, okay, I need to see those other people, some people. I didn't know then that there will be so many I already know, so it's a no-brainer now, but I really had to decide, okay, should I do that? It's not a small thing, it's a long flight and all the things.
I have to say, so I responded the same way. I was like, I don't want to go to that. There are going to be people there. Why would I go to that? And then I was like, wait. There are going to be people there. And then I heard from Marcus. Marcus sent me a note because I live in the same state. I live 45 minutes away from where the camp is. And when Marcus messaged me and said, hey, I'm going to be there, I was like, if he can come across the pond, I can go across the state. I was like, how am I not going to this? And so that was right around the window where I was like, what are these ways that I'm playing small? I mean, yeah, I never leave the house because there's my introverted side is perfectly happy not to, but I need to. I
Yeah.
need to get my butt out of the house and stop hiding.
Yeah.
And that's so those are great. That's a great example. Marcus, if I can ask,
Yeah. Sure.
where I know that you've thought about doing I think that you've thought about doing pre-recorded video. I know that
Yeah.
you do shorts, which do very, very well.
Yeah, I did, but I stopped them. Okay, but yeah, shorts I could do. Yeah, you called me because there I'm absolutely playing small. So yeah, that's the two side. I mean, I know we don't call it play big, but it sometimes feel play big.
You can call it
Yeah, okay.
what you want.
I mean, there is this one side where I stumbled into the concept of live streaming, and people said, "Yeah, you should do it too." And there I just jumped in there and did it, and I think that is really going big. And but now I tackled that, and I'm comfortable with that, and I really want to put out recorded videos, and then I'm really playing small there because I'm thinking, yeah, there is with the perfectionism again. It's so much harder because with life the mistakes are out there and it's gone. And yeah, so
You made an interesting point in there. You played big. You jumped into live streaming, and live streaming becomes no longer not it's not a playing big anything. It's just normal. So you've expanded. You've moved the goalposts. You've expanded your comfort zone. So now it's in your comfort zone. So now you've got to go again and be like, what's the next step, right? So it's constant. We are always moving our own goals, and that's growth.
Yeah,
that's growth.
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
healthy and it's good for you. So, but you're right. It's funny. You brought them up again, your old friends, procrastination and perfection, which are two sides of the same coin. And that coin is fear. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're playing with the same coin again. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's really fascinating for me because my rational brain tells me live streaming is much more scarier because it's immediate and everything can go wrong, will go wrong. And so that's the thing you should be afraid. Why would you be afraid of a camera that is just recording and you can delete it anytime? But yeah, it's not the fear of the camera. It's the fear of is it good enough? And maybe stopping myself because I know what could make it better and better and better, and then it gets too big. But you had a similar thing that you didn't like editing, or
oh yeah. So first of all, I was just going to say, so there's nothing wrong with small steps because it's just about getting where you're going. It doesn't matter how fast; it matters that you go. What happened? So when I got into live video, it was because I was like, oh my god, editing, that looks so hard, and I just avoided it like crazy. And I even bought an editing program and gave it to my fiance and was like, here, you go learn this. And then that didn't really get me where I was trying to go. And then I found Descript and started playing in Descript. And the thing that's really exciting is I had no idea. I love editing. I love it. I could get in there and play. And it's not even, I need to make it perfect. It's like, ooh, what else can I do?
Yeah, so but I feel that when I watch your videos. So I was a few videos back. I thought, wow, did she edit that herself or did she pay someone? So it's really
no, I do them all. Yeah, it's fun, and I mean, it might take me a little while to figure something out, or I've got to find another way to do the thing. That kind of thing. And there's stuff that happens, like the cat will do things, and so I'll put them at the end, things like that, just because I can. It's, creating outtakes. I was like, I can create outtakes? No way, and it's just fun. I almost threw some outtakes at the back of the Get It Done one, and I was like, no, I felt like it would deflate it. It was too important to me, so I didn't throw any outtakes on the back of that one. That was a very conscious decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So let's catch up with the chat real quick. So Janet is asking a link for the video. So just go to the YouTube after watching this, go to the YouTube channel of Suzan, and there I think it's
don't
probably
go now,
the
go later.
newest one or one before.
It is. I haven't done a new one, so it's the last video I did. It's right there. Yeah.
And then Fishstick was answering one of the questions we threw out there. Develop a work-life and hobby balance. Oh, nice. A triple balance. Work and daily family tasks have been taking up a lot of his bandwidth. Sure, yeah.
Cool.
Okay, and we have Mr. Burke here. Hi, Paul. Do you think it's helpful to have a coach that can politely slap you in the face? Yeah. I think, absolutely.
I think so. Yeah. Coaches are amazing. When I say that as a coach, and I have a coach, right? Every coach needs a coach. Coaches are awesome because they help you see something that is like right in front of you. And hopefully they don't slap you in the face, or it might feel like they've emotionally hit you, but really, because they're just helping you find you. They're just helping you find what you want. You know, what's interesting about the coach is the coach doesn't have the answers. The coach is helping you find the answers that you already have.
Yeah,
that's what's really cool.
Yeah, and I like what you said. The coach needs a coach. I think I remembered from your video where you said, "I hope that's the right thing." I remember. I need to listen what I say to others. And that's the point.
Yeah, that's what I found, a coach that was very different from me, but could do for me what I know I do for other people, because I needed that too. And I can kind of hear what I'm saying, but I needed somebody to be like, yeah, but it's not just here's what you need to do. It's here's how it translates for you, right? Yeah. When I talk about procrastinating, for me, it's scrubbing the sink. What does it look like for Marcus, right? That's going to be completely different. Yeah. I've got a fan. You can see the fan.
Yeah, it looks very fancy. I need some music there. Where
like my hair's got its own thing going on here. But it's like 90 degrees outside. So
sure. We prefer the moving hair to air condition.
The cat was blocking it, and she moved. And
okay. Okay. Fishstick says, I have not been procrastinating. I'm letting others know I need time for myself. Yeah, and I think that's a really important distinction. So I know I'm procrastinating because I am not doing the things I want to do in theory. And if you intentionally take time for yourself, that's perfectly fine. So it's as long as it's in your line with your goals.
Yeah. I mean, there's the goal. I need some downtime. I need to take my vacation time, right? You figure out what your goal is, and then you create the road that's going to get you there. And everything that's off of it, you've got to have the wherewithal to be able to say no. But we can't always see that it is or isn't in alignment. Can you bring that other one up? That was
sorry,
interesting.
yeah.
She's no, it's okay.
This one is the funny one.
Oh, I thought you were having the model look. And it's all like, it's humid, so it's like all curly. It's crazy. I think the coach. So.
Yeah, just let it flow, Sus. Let it flow.
I'm just gonna let my hair have its time, have its opportunity. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. The coach keeps asking the questions you don't want to answer. Maybe. The coach often asks questions that you don't know to ask.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Maybe asking the question you.
Yeah.
No. Don't be sorry. I'm proud that I got the same answer. No, the same answer. Yeah, the right answer. Yeah, it's about finding the right questions. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And as we were saying, so you ask you it's very easy to give the advice or the right questions to others, but it's much harder to see the same thing in us.
And there's a reason for it. Whether we're talking about your business, your life, your hobbies, your vacation, you are emotionally attached to the thing. We're totally emotionally attached to it. And so you can't see, you're too close to it.
Yeah.
And when you have somebody like a coach, you've got somebody who's completely on your side, who doesn't get anything out of it except your success. Their goal is the same goal as your success in whatever you've decided
Yeah.
to define that. So it's like having just somebody who's got your back, that you can share your ideas with, that you can be completely honest with. It's to your benefit to tell them exactly what's happening. Here we go again. And then and get to where you're going, and they help you keep on track. At the same time, they don't tell you what to do.
Yeah.
If I start to get off track and my coach is, well, that's not really in alignment with this, I'll be like, okay, but this is why I'm doing it. And so we get to have a conversation, and now I'm being intentional, and I'm making sure I'm not just copping out on myself.
Absolutely. So yeah, and now that we caught up with chat, I would like to circle back, because we identified, yeah, I'm playing small with not putting out recorded videos. And how do I get over that?
What's your answer to that question before we go anywhere? What's your first thought before I suggest anything? What's your first thought about what that might look like?
You know, I would think, yeah, just do it, but it's obviously not happening. So maybe get a more realistic picture of what that looks for me, so it's not that big of a deal.
What is making it such a big deal?
Yeah, I think I want it to be all the things all at once, the perfect video with all the things in it, and maybe I just should. I mean, I was able to make shorts, and maybe a video for me would just be a longer version of a short.
So a short, when you did your shorts, did you
Yeah.
edit them, or did you just kind of do it?
I
Did you
edited
do it like
them very little. So I said the thing a few times, and then the editing was a pretty fast thing to do there.
Yeah. So, I mean, you just said you have this vision. I'm just saying this back to you. You had this vision of this complex, detailed video that you'd like to be able to do.
Yeah.
Which is jumping into the deep end. And maybe that's where the tech is kind of in your way a little bit, because it's hard to get your head around when you haven't done that, but you've done it in the little amounts.
Yeah.
Can you do it? You know, just do one and cut it together. Let me tell you, if it helps, how I did this. The first time I did it, I was just like, I'm just going to do it and then cut out the little pieces and kind of clip it together. That was it. I was like, and then when I figured out that, I started to add the next thing, and then I started to add the next thing. And I think it's not that we can't jump into the deep end, but if jumping into the deep end is what is stopping you, your other option might help you at least get going on the road.
Yeah, I think it's really, instead of making another short, which I absolutely could do, I just make a long short and then I have a small video. Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. I'm wondering if one of the things that's stopping you is you're used to doing long video with other people, and this would just be you.
That would be absolutely true, but every time I don't have a guest because I didn't ask someone, I make myself go live myself. So, and that's very intentional. That's also the opposite of playing small, because having guests, and at the start that was absolutely the motivation was, okay, I'm so alone, what should I say? And having a guest, it makes it so much easier, and that was absolutely at the start. But now I really have guests because I like to talk with them, and I really very intentionally go live myself. But
okay, so that's not it at all. It really is just, it sounds like there's a gap between where you think that your skills are and what you envision doing.
Yeah, and I mean, I probably could do a good bit even of the things I envision, but that would just be a disproportional amount of work to start, and so I don't start with it. And I just need to make it from going from short to a bit more complex, and then I can add that up, because I could do it, but not efficient. So I mean, if I work 2 weeks exclusively on putting a video out, I could probably make that in the quality I want to, but that's not sustainable, and so we don't do that.
But is it always going to be that way though?
No, I think I just need to go out of my head, get out of
Right.
my
I
head
mean,
and do it.
yeah. I mean, the first time you do it, absolutely, it's going to take
Yeah.
some time.
Yeah, sure.
And the next time it'll take less time, and the next time it'll take less
Yeah.
time. Right. So what I'm hearing you say in part is some things like, so first of all, how much work is it going to take? It sounds like that's actually part of the problem,
Yeah,
is
sure.
you're concerned about how long it's going to take you. But how long it took me to do the very first one, now I can sit down in a couple hours,
Yeah, sure.
get right through it, because I know kind of what I'm doing. And one of the things I learned, so the thing when it comes to doing something new is we think that we're going to do this final version of it out of the gate, like the first time I'm going to create this amazing thing, and it's not the first time. We're just trying to execute it, and it needs to. We need to be okay with it being imperfect, because it's going to be.
Yeah.
One of the things I learned in doing this, though, probably by the second or the third one, I was starting to record differently, which was making that process easier. So it wasn't just learning how to edit, it was also learning how to record to make editing make more sense.
Yeah.
And to the point where it was probably the fifth or the sixth one, I was in my video doing a list of things, and I said the first one, and then a bunch of stuff, the second one, and I realized when I did the third one that how I announced the second one and the third one were the same, but I did the first one differently. So I paused, I introduced the first one, and then I kept going. And then in the edit, I just took it and brought it back up to the first one. And
Yeah.
so they all had the entrances. I wouldn't have thought to do that in the first one or the second one. Yeah. You've got to do it in order to get better. You've got to do it in order to become more efficient. Yeah. When I was at Hewlett Packard, I had a boss who was really a very, very good. I had a couple of really good bosses while I was there, and they would not just teach me how to do my job, they would teach me how to think about my job. And this particular boss said to me one day, he was like, look, you're going to come on board, you're going to learn how to do the job, and then you're going to do the job, and then you're going to make the job your own. So when you start doing something like editing a video, you just got to do it and figure out what you're doing. And the first one's going to be the hardest. It's going to be bumpy. You're just trying to figure it out. And then you'll start to do it, and then you'll start to make it your own.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think it circles back to we need to hear our own advice that we will give other people, because I just thought now, what would I say to someone else is you need to get it started, to get it moving in order to then improve and adapt and
you just have to
start try things out. And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you just have to do one. So you're going into this, the goal isn't to make a perfect video. The goal is to make a video.
Yes. So it's Thursday now. So I make one until Sunday. And you heard
okay.
it.
So what do you mean by that, until Sunday? What does that mean?
Yeah, it needs to be on the channel by Sunday.
Okay, can you do that between Sunday? Do you have the time?
I think if I have the deadline, it will help me.
Okay.
If I say I it's done in 2 weeks, then I will start a few days before Sunday as well. Okay. And if I say it's until Tuesday, it just will take longer. Okay. I think I need the pressure, and now I have some witnesses here, and you can all write an angry comment here if it's not here on Sunday.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, I think.
Nice. Now, how do you feel about it? That's my question, actually, because you were talking about and you've been dancing around. How are you feeling about this idea?
Yeah, I think it's the right thing. I know deadlines work well for me, and that's how I can do live streams. So you had me to ask today if we're on for tonight, because I didn't communicate anything back, but that's only because I I didn't do the preparation, and after
Yeah,
that
but you
I
knew what
did
to do.
them,
You've done
and
this so
then
many
they are,
times.
yeah, and
You were
then
able
I
to whip
put
it
them
out, right?
out,
No
and they
problem.
are there
Yeah.
because the deadline comes nearer, and then I can do that. And
Yeah.
when it's time to go live, we go live. And I had one time a guest that couldn't, just didn't work to connect, and so I just did it for myself. So with the deadline, I'm functioning really good.
And I think that's the exact thing when it comes to you've done it so many times that you've got some templates, you know exactly what you
Yeah,
need. You've
sure.
got literally templates, in Google Docs.
Yeah,
You know exactly what you need. When you show up on tech, you know what you need to do.
yeah,
So you can, on that same day, like 2 hours ahead, be like, oh, here's all the information. Let's go.
yeah, sure.
Because you've been doing it for so long. And so, but you couldn't have done that years ago when you started this,
Yeah, but
right? You
then
had to do this journey.
yeah, but the thing was I couldn't do it then, and then I was really unprepared. But I went live anyway, and that's how I progressed. Yeah, and there is the answer. I need to do the same thing with the recorded. And yeah, I always say to me it's easier because I have a hard time with a hard timeline with going live. But yeah, I could also say I don't go live today because I'm not ready. So maybe I.
But what I guess I'm trying to get to here is
Yeah.
when you want to learn something new, like I'm going to start recording a video instead of doing live, you can also say, okay, the last time I learned something hard, what did I do? How did I do it? What was that like?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, Cheryl. Yeah, Cheryl will hold me
Yay.
accountable.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first time that Cheryl would write me and say,
where
do
is
it
it
now. Yeah,
right. And I think Paul had it right. Do it in baby steps, right?
Yeah.
It's part of the thing that stops us is it feels so big, and it like, how am I supposed to do this? And it's like, just begin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't play with our hearts, Marcus.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I would. It's exactly what I would tell to somebody else. That I just do it because before you have all figured out. Do it before you exactly know what you're doing. Because in my world, if I would wait for clarity, nothing would ever get done. So the clarity comes with doing. So
right, absolutely. There you go.
Perfect.
Nice.
So we have a few minutes for last thoughts.
Do you have any more questions for me? Did we go through all of your questions?
Yeah, I think because
we did.
I have the questions I have in advanced are mainly if I lose the train of thought and I really quick need to have another one, because I really like if the interview or the conversation is moving freely, but I had it happen to me. There are 3 things I want to ask as next question, and because there are 3 things, they're all gone away, and then it's always good to have.
That's why I always have a pen nearby. I'll
something.
write my questions down. But Marcus, I wanted to say thank you for a couple of reasons. One is I really was excited that you were excited about the video. That was like, you were one of the people that reached out, and I was like, oh, thank God, because I was so scared I was terrified putting that video out. I don't know that it was, like I said, me calling myself to the table and saying, all right, it's time to, if you're going to stop playing small, you've got to hit publish. But I also want to say thank you for letting me ask you questions here as well, because I do think of this as a conversation.
Yeah.
The answer to how to stop playing small, what does it mean, what does it look like, is unique to each of us. And it's become part of my coaching. I think it always kind of was anyway, but it's a really common challenge that we all experience. And if we can get out of our own way, it's amazing what we can accomplish for ourselves. We just have to choose to show up.
Yeah. And I really love how you said it was scary for you to put it out. You needed to be vulnerable. And I recognize this as a pattern. It was always what I thought, but I think the pattern is vulnerable, people are scared, and then they get overwhelming positive feedback because
putting yourself out there and being vulnerable is just gonna come hand in hand with feeling like you're exposed and feeling like you're putting a lot of stuff out there and something's gonna go wrong. But that's where you get the best responses, I think. It just was really, I just needed to put it out there. Here's something I noticed about content actually is that was content that came from here.
Yeah.
I will put out content that comes from here, but I'll also every now and then put out content comes from here. And I feel it's the kind of content that feels like it's just going to bubble up out of me. Like I almost don't have a choice. It's just got to come up.
So great.
And that's, it just was more of a heart and soul kind of a topic. And I want to do more of those because I felt like I grew in more ways.
Sure. Yeah. And the audience feels it. I mean, it makes a big difference. And it's a video only you can make in that way versus if you just teach a certain concept, everyone knowing that could do that video.
Yeah, and I'm going to do that too. I don't think I could do this kind of content every single week, but it was really, if I can make that kind of an impact, because, and it's, I mean, I have a small channel, but people are responding to me.
Yeah.
There is a conversation under that video.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for. And that's movement. And that's what I was trying to do.
Okay. So. And then just jumping here in the chat, Mary is asking, what is the commitment when I will actually do it? And I will I will give myself the room for that. It will just be there.
Mary's got
somehow.
A great question. Is Sunday you'll have it ready to go, or are you hitting publish on Sunday?
That was the question.
Yeah.
Okay. No, Sunday it will be on the channel. But I will not commit to by Friday that is done and it just
I don't think that's what
Sunday.
She was asking.
Oh, okay.
I think
so
she was just like, when
that.
are you hitting publish?
Yeah, Sunday. And you will see, the shorter it is, the later I started with it.
Yeah. So actually, is this going to be a long short or is it going to be a short?
No, it's not a short. But maybe it's short for a video, but no, short. Yeah. I mean, that would be taking the easy way out because I could could make a short after this. Probably not the best short, but I could. So the challenge is it will be a proper video and maybe on the short side for a long form video, but it will be a video.
I'll put a video together and I look at it, I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be so long because it's like 15 or 20 minutes of recording and I finish editing it and it's 5 minutes.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The video should be as long as needed and as short as possible. It's
long enough to get the message across without us, droning.
You have to give it the room it needs, but then really don't make it longer as that.
Yeah. So cool.
So, thank you so very much, Suzan. It was, as always, fantastic conversation. And it was the third time we talked. And I think it is also a measurement of my routine and how more relaxed I get. Because in the first one I was, oh no, you're breaking out of what I planned.
I warned you. I told you, I was like, I'm going to be asking questions right back at you.
No, I mean, the very first time we talked, I was very, we have to stay on the script. And
you're very, very regimented.
Now
you've done amazing. You've done amazing. I want to know, who's the person who's been on your show the most?
I think it would be Lala. But nice. With reappearance, you would probably be placed too. Yeah,
I'm up there.
Yeah.
So. It's an honor to have been asked. I really appreciate it. I love your enthusiasm on the topic, and I'm really, really happy to be here and loving what you're doing and watching your growth, Marcus. You're doing amazing, and I can't wait to see what you do.
Yeah, and Stan and Anna, you're coming here right when we have to wrap up, but. Either Suzan or me, will put something out in the world where the other one will say we have to talk, and then we'll do it again.
every now and then. We have to
Yeah.
talk. We just have to.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so very much. And that's all for today. Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.